everybody, it's Kelly Moe. I wanted to talk to you today about communicating with the staff at the facility where your loved one is living. When I had to make the decision to move my mom into an assisted living facility, it was one of the hardest decisions that I had to make after we found out that she was living with severe dementia. It's amazing in the sense of just with your own transition of adapting with the fact that your loved one is going through this change, all the emotions that you're going through and learning how to communicate with your loved one, let alone learning to give up any kind of control with strangers at a living facility. You're not sure of their practices, you're not sure of their backgrounds, you're not sure of their personalities. It's a lot of give and take. It's a lot of having patience, learning patience, and trying to find trust in people you're not aware of that are going to be the ones that are going to take care of your loved one, and really cultivating this relationship, because eventually you're hoping that they're going to be like an extended family to you and to your loved one. So it's definitely a process. It's been over a decade that I have been dealing with or have earned this caregiving role. I've come a very long way in regards to how I deal with talking with staff members or accepting their role and my role in this whole caregiving situation with my mom. One thing that is for certain, based on the 3 living facilities where my mom has been, the caregiving nursing community, especially in the area where I live, I'm not sure about if this is factual all around the United States, but I have a good feeling that it's true. Most of the staff is not American. They're not from the States. Most of the staff is either from different countries in Africa, or they're Haitian, or they're from the islands, from Jamaica, the West Indies, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's a very loving culture for the most part, but it's been interesting too, where you can tell sometimes there's a language barrier. Some dialects are very strong, so sometimes it's hard to understand sometimes what they're saying. And if I'm having a hard time understanding some of the nuances and the accents, I think about, oh my goodness, for someone who's going through memory loss or having a hard time understanding, I'm like, are they even understanding this caregiver or this nursing aide is trying to communicate with them? So I always thought that was very interesting. That's the community that is taking care of people who have dementia and Alzheimer's. With everyone that I've had to deal with, I would say 80% of the people that I've had to deal with or that I've met that have had to deal with my mom have been great. 20%, it's been a challenge. I actually had one incident where a young lady, she had gotten a little nasty with me. Like I have said in previous videos, I think it's very important. We're the advocate for our loved one. When you go visit them and you're staying on top of their care and asking questions to make sure that your loved one is safe and is clean and is eating well or whatever. When you're asking questions to people who are in charge of your loved one, this one particular aide, she did not like me asking her any questions. I had come to find out that, she was very silent and didn't respond to me because she was fearful to say the wrong thing. And I think she just wanted me to defer to the head nurse on duty. There were other aides on a daily basis that would answer my questions. So when she wouldn't, it would catch me off guard. But I think there was a language barrier, and she was afraid to say the wrong thing. But one time she had said to me, or had given me this attitude about, well, I'm doing the best I can, and kind of like, well, you Americans, you just take and leave your loved ones here for all of us to take care of them. And that did not sit well with me, not at all, because, this was her job. This is what she had signed up to do. And I always go in very humble and thankful to everyone that works there, because it's one of the hardest jobs out there for someone to come in and take care of the elderly, especially in the state that they're in. I know based on her culture and her background, the families come together, they all take care of one another from cradle to grave, and that's always an ideal situation, but that's not the situation that we're in right now. And I mean, Alzheimer's and dementia, it's an epidemic. It's going to cripple our healthcare system. It's bankrupting families. It's not easy, especially with the way the economy is and the state of how everyone is working really hard and how everyone is living. People can't do both and have their loved ones stay in home with them without whether bringing in outside help to come live inside the home with them or having to put your loved one in a facility. Therefore, you are entrusting someone that is not in your family, that does not necessarily have the same values that you do or same upbringing, to help take care of your loved one. And for her to give me this shade or this attitude was really off-putting. It's one of those things where you want to assert yourself, but you catch yourself as well, because you're like, you want to make sure you're still giving them love and guidance with whatever you're saying, because once you leave that room, she's still responsible for taking care of your loved one, and heaven forbid anything that you say or do will reflect on how she decides to treat your loved one. And I had fear for that for a while, just dealing with talking to the admissions people about their staff when you do have issues or grievances. You have to do that. Everyone needs to be held accountable. Transparency is key. And I know with nursing homes, they're very sensitive in regards to if you say anything or if you put down anything in writing stating that there is negligence. If you do that, they are forced to have to report that to the health department, I believe, because there was an incident where I ended up doing that. I had written a letter. The director had told me by law, I think she was supposed to do that because she had to do an investigation. They take it very seriously, which they should. But once again, it's all about communicating. I know that people come in very feisty because they're very hands-on, with their loved one. You have people who aren't hands-on at all. They just drop their loved one off and they relinquish themselves and allow, the staff to take care of their loved one. I'm in there. I'm an advocate. If you are getting ready to go through this process and you're thinking about having to move someone into a facility, be mindful that you will be dealing with people from all different walks of life, different backgrounds, different cultures. And once again, there's nothing wrong with that, but just be prepared that there could be some times where there is a language barrier. They're human just like we are, and they were hired because they're qualified and they do a good job. They're never going to take care of your loved one exactly the way you want or that you would take care of them. So it's easing off, relinquishing, some of that control that you have and just trusting that they're going to do a good job. I'm praying that if you're going through this right now, you probably have experienced this and already understand it. If you are about to have to go through it, just a heads up. Just want to do a video about giving you a warning that you could have some challenges, and just be patient and just come with love with everything that you say and do. It'll help make the process go a lot smoother.